To write the Schrödinger equation in a time dependent form, we know that h psi, and this is nothing but h cross square by 2m, and let us restrict ourselves in one dimensional form, plus v psi. H is Hamiltonian, and here psi is a function of x and t both. Now for a free particle, we know that there is no force, so its potential energy is 0. So potential energy V is 0. And the Schrödinger equation became minus h cross square by 2m d2 psi by dx. Now we want to solve this equation, so we can use a method known as separation of variable, and this method says that the different variable has a different function, and the whole function is the product of the functions of different variables. So we can just write psi, which is simply a function of x, and let's say t, which is a function of time. Substituting this equation, we can get ih cross psi, and which is x only, and then this t part you can just del t by t, and here h cross square by 2m, and here time comes out, and this became d2 psi by dx square. Dividing by psi x t, equation gives 1 upon ih cross t dt by dt is minus h cross square by 2m 1 upon psi d2 psi by dx square. Just write it as, so let us all these two equations is simply they are separately equal to a constant, and that constant, let's say E, or we can just write it p square by 2m, which is the kinetic energy, and it's simply a number. H cross by t dt by dt is p square by 2m. So we can get, by integrating it, log of t is minus I p square by 2m h cross t plus, let's say, constant. So this t part of the solution is t, which is a function, let's say, some constant times e power minus I p square on 2m h cross t, or we can just write constant times e power minus I e t upon h cross, where e energy of the particle. For second part of the solution, we can just write d2 psi by dx square plus p square upon h cross square psi is equal to 0. As you know that this has come from the second part of solution, dx square is equal to e, which is nothing but p square by 2m. So 2m cancel, and you can just get this. This is, obviously you know that this is a very well known solution of this equation is psi x, which is psi at initial value, psi x is psi at x I, let's say initial at psi at x बराबर 0 पे, or we can say it amplitude, e power I p x upon h cross. Now substituting these two, we can get psi of xt, and which is nothing but constant times e power I px upon h cross e power minus I upon h cross p square by 2m into t, and you just write e power I upon h cross px minus p square by 2m into t. P can take any values from minus infinity to plus infinity. So general solution of this equation become the superposition of all these functions. So since P can take any values from minus infinity to plus infinity, the general solution is a superposition of all these solution, which is 1 upon root 2 pi h cross minus infinity to infinity. This constant can be given a name AP e power I upon h cross px minus p square by 2m t into dp. And this superposition is known as Baek-Paquet. So now our next part is how to determine this AP. So for t barabar 0, we know that psi x at t is equal to 0. What we can get? We are left with 1 upon root 2 pi h cross e power a of p e power I upon h cross p of x dp. If we see this equation, we know that it's the Fourier transform of AP. So AP can be given as 1 upon root 2 pi h cross minus infinity to infinity psi of x e power minus I upon h cross p of x into dx. So what it implies basically is that if you know the function at time t is equal to 0, by using this function you can get the AP, and once you know the AP you can just substitute this AP here and understood that how this wave function or this Baek-Paquet is evolved, and we'll get more general solution of this. So I just what I said that one should know the initial wave function, then by knowledge of psi x, we can calculate AP, and once we know AP we can put it into psi of xt and get more general solution of Schrodinger equation for a free particle.